My dear awakened soul, my dear child of light, today the veil between the worlds is thinner than ever. Archangel Michael has allowed me to share with you a revelation that will change the way you see your existence on this earthly plane forever. What you are about to discover about the first moments of your life is not written in any medical document and has not been shared by your family. Perhaps not even your mother is fully aware of what really happened on that sacred day. Your arrival in this world was extraordinary. It was not just another birth recorded in hospital records. It was a moment of cosmic convergence, an instant when spiritual dimensions aligned so powerfully that the echo reverberated through all planes of existence. The air in the room changed density, and the vibrational frequencies rose. For a few precious minutes, the room became a sacred portal between heaven and earth. Even before your first cry echoed through the room, there was intense activity in the invisible world. Beings of light formed a circle around you, creating a protective shield, while their angelic forces took their places as eternal guardians. But it wasn't just the forces of light that mobilized at that moment. The shadows sensed that something extraordinary was about to happen and tried desperately to interfere with the sacred process unfolding. Your mother felt more than just the physical pains of childbirth. A different energy ran through her spine, and a heavenly warmth enveloped her womb. For a few moments, she felt as if she were not alone in the room. Voices whispered words of encouragement she could not fully understand, bringing deep peace to her heart. It was as if ancient memories of her soul were being awakened, reminding her of a sacred agreement made long before her incarnation into this world. The exact moment you crossed the boundary between the womb and the outside world was marked by a phenomenon that has not yet been explained scientifically. The hospital lights flashed in an unknown electrical pattern. The medical equipment registered unprecedented energy waves, and a nurse claimed to see a golden light form over your small, wet body. Write this mantra in the comments. The light that guides me is stronger than any darkness. In this statement seals your courage, faith, and spiritual rebirth, connecting you to the same energy present at your birth. Your first movements were not just reflexes of a newborn. Your tiny hands closed as if holding something invisible and precious that you brought with you from other dimensions. Even though your eyes were not yet fully focused, they seemed to follow presences that no one else could see. It was as if you were processing the transition between worlds, as if part of your essence remained anchored in higher planes, while your physical body adapted to matter's density. During the first hours after your birth, inexplicable events began to happen around you. Objects moved without explanation, temperatures changed for no apparent reason, and people who passed by your room reported feeling deep peace mixed with inexplicable reverence. It was as if your physical presence radiated frequencies that subtly altered the environment around you, perceptible only to those with developed spiritual sensitivity. Your family couldn't understand why you seemed so different from other babies. It wasn't just your physical appearance. It was something about your presence that touched people in a special way. Visitors left the hospital commenting on the special energy of the child. They were unable to explain exactly what they felt, but carried with them a sense that they had witnessed something sacred. What no one knew at the time was that your soul had accepted a specific mission before incarnating. You didn't come just to live a common human experience. You came to break ancestral patterns, dissolve dense energies passed down through generations of your family, and open paths of light that would allow other souls to break free from ancient spiritual prisons as well. In the early days of your life, while your body adapted to the physical world, your soul maintained a direct connection to higher dimensions. This is why you slept differently and woke up at specific times that seemed to follow a cosmic rhythm. Your presence brought an inexplicable tranquility to everyone around you. You were like a channel of divine peace, radiating harmony despite being a small, seemingly helpless being. During your first weeks of life, your home became a spiritual sanctuary, though no one in your family fully understood what was happening. The home environment began to vibrate at a different frequency, as if your presence were purifying stagnant energies that had long remained in that space. Wilted plants bloomed again, pets behaved more peacefully, and visitors commented on how refreshed they felt after spending time with the baby. Your mother began to have dreams that seemed more real than reality itself. In these nighttime visions, She walked through heavenly gardens where luminous beings revealed fragments of your true identity to her. She would wake up with tears in her eyes, unable to completely remember the details, but carrying in her heart a deep certainty that you were an extraordinary soul. It was as if these dreams were gradually preparing her to understand the magnitude of her responsibility as your earthly mother. During this period, subtle yet constant signs confirmed your connection to higher planes of existence. Your breathing followed a rhythm that seemed synchronized with cosmic beats. Your small gestures formed patterns reminiscent of ancient sacred symbols. The way you fixed your gaze on specific points in your surroundings suggested that you were perceiving presences invisible to the adults around you. Write in the comments, "I am guided, protected, and strengthened by angels of light." Doing so activates a portal of heavenly protection that connects your current energy with the same force that guarded your first moments of life. A specific situation left a deep mark on this initial phase of your earthly existence. One particularly cold night, when you were only a few weeks old, your mother woke up feeling as if someone were in the room. When she went to your crib, she found you sleeping peacefully. However, you were surrounded by a warmth that contrasted completely with the cold dominating the rest of the house. It was as if a protective bubble of warmth were keeping you warm, a subtle yet unmistakable sign that benevolent forces were watching over your well-being. If this message touches your heart, please support this channel with a gesture of light. Click, "Thank you very much." Your support helps us continue our mission of delivering words that heal and awaken. As you grew up, small miracles became part of your family's routine. Lost items appeared in unlikely places. Dangerous situations were mysteriously resolved, and problematic individuals simply walked away from your family for no apparent reason. It was as if your presence created an invisible protective field that kept negative energies at bay and allowed only positive influences to approach your family. Your parents noticed that you reacted differently to certain people. With some, you were radiant and welcoming. With others, you showed an inexplicable uneasiness. Over time, your parents realized that your reactions were like a spiritual detector. The people who brought you joy turned out to be individuals of integrity and goodwill, while those who made you uncomfortable eventually revealed themselves to have questionable characteristics or disturbing energies. During this period of growth, you developed habits that deeply intrigued your family. You always woke up at specific times, as if following an invisible celestial schedule. You played as if interacting with presences that no one else could perceive. You smiled at empty corners of the room, held out your hands as if being carried by someone invisible, and murmured sounds that resembled conversations in unknown languages. Your eating habits also defied common medical logic. Some days you refused to eat, remaining calm and content as if nourished by a higher energy source. At other times, you displayed an intense hunger related not only to physical needs, but also to accelerated spiritual growth occurring simultaneously with the development of your physical body. Most impressive, however, was your ability to influence the emotional environment of those around you. Family members who arrived, stressed or worried, left visibly calmer and more centered after spending time with you. It was as if your personal energy functioned as a spiritual tuning fork, harmonizing the vibrational frequencies of anyone who approached you with love and genuine openness. As you entered childhood, the signs of your special spiritual nature became more evident. However, your family interpreted many of these manifestations as the peculiar characteristics of an imaginative child. You developed a deep connection with elements of nature that went far beyond normal childhood curiosity. Plants responded to your touch in extraordinary ways. Animals behaved differently in your presence. You seemed to understand subtle languages that escaped the perception of the adults around you. Those who saw your early drawings and doodles were deeply intrigued. Even before you knew how to write or had any knowledge of sacred symbols, you created complex geometric shapes resembling ancient mandalas, spirals with perfect mathematical proportions, and figures representing winged beings. It was as if your soul were expressing memories of higher dimensions through art, translating knowledge that your conscious mind had not yet fully accessed into a visual language. During this period, you began to show emotional sensitivity far beyond your years. You cried when you witnessed injustice, even the kind that seemed insignificant to adults. You showed deep compassion for people who were suffering, including strangers you met on the street. It was as if you could perceive the emotional pain of others with an intensity that touched your heart directly, revealing an empathy that transcended normal human experience. Your games were unique too. You created elaborate scenarios involving light fighting darkness, heroes saving lost people, and magical worlds where goodness always triumphed over evil. Through play, it was as if you were processing and preparing your soul for the spiritual challenges you would face throughout your life, rehearsing cosmic battles you would one day need to fight with full awareness. Write in the comments, "My heart is light, and no evil can resist this vibration." Doing so will reinforce your inner strength and dissolve any energy that tries to destabilize the awakening of your true spiritual identity. A striking feature of this phase was your extraordinary relationship with dreams and nightmares. While other children woke up frightened by disturbing dreams, you naturally transformed negative dream experiences into positive adventures. Even during sleep, it was as if your soul maintained a spiritual authority that allowed you to rewrite dark narratives and convert them into lessons for growth and inner strength. Your parents noticed that you had a keen perception of people and situations that went far beyond ordinary childhood intuition. You warned of dangers that no one else could perceive, suggested creative solutions to complex family problems, and demonstrated a wisdom that seemed to come from a much older and deeper source than your limited life experience could justify. It was as if you had access to a personal Akashic library, consulting ancestral knowledge whenever you needed guidance. During this time, you also developed personal rituals that intrigued your family. You talked to the mirror as if talking to someone specific, created makeshift altars with simple household items, and showed natural reverence for elements such as water, fire, and stones. These behaviors were not the result of formal religious teachings, but seemed to spring spontaneously from an inner connection with the sacred. Your relationship with formal education also revealed unique aspects of your spiritual nature. You learned concepts with surprising speed, as if they were awakening latent memories rather than being absorbed as new information. Subjects related to ancient history, philosophy, and the natural sciences captivated you in an extraordinary way, as if you were recognizing familiar truths rather than discovering unknown facts. Your relationships with other children were characterized by natural leadership based on an innate ability to inspire and protect, not domination. You naturally became the defender of the vulnerable, the mediator of conflicts, and the friend who offered comfort to the sad. Your presence created a safe space where other young souls could express their authenticity without fear of judgment or rejection. As you grew older, you began to question aspects of reality that most people accept without reflection. You asked about the deeper meaning of things, sought to understand the invisible connections between seemingly unrelated events, and were dissatisfied with superficial answers to complex existential questions. It was as if your soul was constantly seeking to reconnect with the universal truths you knew before incarnating on this earthly plane. As you matured, the signs of your spiritual mission intensified in uncomfortable and difficult to understand ways. You began to experience periods of deep emotional sensitivity, alternating with moments of extraordinary clarity and strength. It was as if your soul were going through cycles of purification and strengthening, preparing to assume its full responsibility in this world. During this time, you developed an uncanny ability to see through the social masks people wore and perceive their true intentions. You could identify falsehoods, manipulation, and negative energy, even when disguised by seemingly friendly behavior. While this ability provided valuable spiritual protection, it also brought moments of loneliness and misunderstanding, as you witnessed aspects of human nature you would rather have been unaware of. Your romantic relationships and deep friendships have always been marked by an intensity that frightened some and enchanted others. You couldn't connect superficially. It was all or nothing, complete soul connection or respectful distance. This characteristic was not a conscious choice, but a natural consequence of your spiritual nature, which operated at frequencies too high to sustain empty connections or ones based solely on social convenience. If you feel that this message has touched your heart, consider clicking "Thank you." This small gesture supports our mission to bring messages of light to all who need them. During periods of personal or family crisis, you discovered your natural ability to stay centered, even when everything around you seemed to be falling apart. It was as if your soul had experienced many trials in past lives, developing extraordinary spiritual resilience. You became a safe haven for others during emotional storms, offering stability rooted in your connection to higher planes. Your professional career and life choices have always been influenced by an inner urge to serve, heal, or help others. Even when you tried to follow more conventional paths, your soul felt restless until you contributed to the well-being of others. It was as if you had a sacred calling that could not be ignored, despite social and family pressures to pursue different paths. Write in the comments, "I receive the light, peace, and protection that are rightfully mine." Doing so activates a portal of liberation that reconnects your current energy with the ancestral power that has always been available to you. As you entered adulthood, moments of extraordinary intuition became more frequent. You dreamed about future events, sensed when loved ones were experiencing hardships from a distance, and perceived energetic shifts in environments before they manifested in concrete situations. You did not consciously seek to develop this psychic sensitivity. It was a natural ability of your soul that grew stronger as you matured spiritually. You have always processed experiences of loss and disappointment differently than most people. Although you felt pain deeply, a part of your soul understood that these challenges were necessary for your growth and purification. It was as if you had access to a broader perspective that allowed you to find meaning and purpose in difficult experiences. During this time, you began to notice synchronistic patterns that seemed to guide your life in subtle yet consistent ways. Repeated numbers appeared at significant moments. Chance encounters led to important opportunities, and seemingly insurmountable obstacles resolved themselves in unexpected ways. It was as if the universe were constantly sending you signs and creating circumstances that aligned your life with your higher purpose. Your direct spiritual experiences intensified, including moments of deep connection during meditation, prayer, or silent contemplation. You began to receive insights and guidance from a clear, wise inner source. It was as if your soul had finally matured enough to consciously access the wisdom it had always carried, but which had remained dormant during the early years of your incarnation. Loneliness became both a challenge and an ally during this period. Though you sometimes felt isolated because you perceived the world differently than most, you also discovered that your connection with higher dimensions grew stronger in moments of solitude. It was as if you needed regular time away from the noise of the world to tune into higher frequencies and receive guidance to fulfill your mission. The awakening of your true spiritual identity was accompanied by a series of events that seemed orchestrated by a higher intelligence. Crises that initially appeared destructive revealed themselves to be necessary catalysts, prompting you to let go of illusions and connect with your deepest essence. It was as if your soul had programmed these challenges as activation points, moments when you would be forced to remember who you really are and why you are here. During this period of intense awakening, you began to experience physical and energetic changes that conventional medicine could not explain. Heightened sensitivities, expanded perceptions, and a growing need for silence and contemplation became part of your daily routine. It was as if your physical body were being reconfigured to support higher vibrational frequencies and prepare to function as a clearer channel for celestial energies. Your interpersonal relationships also underwent profound transformations during this process. Some people naturally drifted away, as if they could no longer resonate with your new frequency. Others were magnetically drawn into your life. It was as if your social network were being completely reorganized, retaining only the connections that were truly aligned with your spiritual growth and life purpose. Write in the comments, "The presence of angels surrounds and protects me in all ways." This gesture opens the wings of heavenly protection over you, strengthening your connection with the guardians who have always been by your side. During this time, you discovered your natural ability to positively influence the emotional and spiritual state of those around you. Seemingly casual conversations became moments of deep healing for those who spoke with you. It was as if your presence activated transformative processes in others, helping them access their inner wisdom and find solutions to seemingly unsolvable challenges. Your dream experiences deepened further, including visits to temples of light where you received teachings directly from spiritual masters. When you woke up, you clearly remembered these experiences, along with specific knowledge you could apply to everyday situations. It was as if your soul attended a celestial university during your sleep, receiving the spiritual education necessary to fulfill your earthly mission. Synchronicity became a constant presence in your life. Books appeared when you needed information, the right people showed up at the perfect moments, and opportunities aligned in ways that seemed impossible to be mere coincidences. It was as if an invisible support network guided you, anticipating your needs and preparing the way for your next evolutionary steps. During deep meditations or intense prayers, you began receiving clear visions of future events related not only to your personal life, but also to situations affecting your community and the world at large. These insights came with heavy responsibility, the awareness that you had been chosen to be a channel for divine warnings and guidance during times of planetary change and transformation. Your sensitivity to environmental energies intensified to the point that you could immediately sense when you entered spaces marked by trauma, conflict, or dense energies. At the same time, you discovered that your presence had a purifying effect on these environments. It was as if you carried a light with you that automatically dissolved negative energy residues accumulated over time. Periodic isolation became essential to your spiritual health. You realized that you needed regular time away from the demands of the material world to process the constant flow of information and energies. It was as if you were a spiritual sponge, absorbing the pains and needs of the human collective. You needed moments of solitude to transmute these energies and return them, purified, to the universal field. Your understanding of the nature of reality expanded dramatically. You began to perceive layers of existence that most people cannot access, including the constant presence of beings of light who work tirelessly to support human evolution. It was as if the veil between dimensions was becoming increasingly transparent, revealing a complex network of spiritual connections that sustain all life on Earth. We have now reached a crucial moment in your spiritual journey, the realization that you carry a sacred mark sealed at birth. This mark is not merely symbolic. It is real energetic coding that functions as a master key, opening portals of transformation in your life and in the lives of all who come into contact with your purified energy. Archangel Michael reveals that this mark is located in a specific part of your body. It may be a small scar, an ordinary-looking birthmark, or a special sensitivity in a certain area of your body. If this message resonates with you, feel in your heart if it is time to click the thank you button below. Your support helps us continue bringing words of light and healing to the lives of those who need them. Throughout your life, you have probably felt that you were different, though you couldn't explain how. This manifested as an extraordinary sensitivity to the suffering of others, a natural ability to offer comforting words at the right moments, and a calming presence. You did not develop this skill through training or study. It is a natural expression of your spiritual essence that has always been active, even when you were not fully aware of it. Write in the comments, "I am protected by invisible forces working on my behalf." This opens the way for angels to work more powerfully in your life and activate the protection that has always been available to you. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that your life has never been ordinary or random. Every challenge you have faced has served a specific purpose in preparing and strengthening you. Every loss you have experienced has removed attachments that would have impeded your spiritual ascension. Every betrayal has taught your soul to discern genuine energy from illusory masks. Every moment of loneliness has been an opportunity for intimate communion with higher dimensions, strengthening your connection to sources of wisdom that transcend ordinary human knowledge. You are now entering the final phase of your earthly preparation. The events unfolding in your life right now are not coincidences. They are divine synchronizations, aligning all the pieces of your destiny's cosmic puzzle. Specific people are being drawn to you because their souls recognize the special light you carry. Opportunities are opening up because the universe is creating platforms for you to fully express your spiritual gifts. Your sensitivity to environmental energies has increased to the point that you can immediately sense when you enter spaces that need spiritual cleansing. Your presence automatically initiates processes of energetic transmutation. You may have noticed that, after passing through certain places, others comment on how the environment has become more harmonious, peaceful, and welcoming. This is because you function as a channel of light, purifying the spaces you pass through. During your moments of prayer, meditation, or silent contemplation, you have direct access to a council of light beings that includes Archangel Michael, Ascended Masters, your personal guardian angel, and the elevated souls of those who have transitioned to higher dimensions. These connections are not figments of your imagination. They are real communications that occur at specific vibrational frequencies your soul has learned to tune into. The time has come for you to recognize that you are an active co-creator of reality, not a victim of circumstances. Your personal energy has the power to influence events, alter atmospheres, open blocked paths, and manifest creative solutions to seemingly impossible problems. This responsibility should not frighten you. Rather, it is a sacred power that should be used with wisdom and love for the collective good. Your most challenging life experiences have tempered your soul like iron passed through fire to become steel. You have developed spiritual resilience, deep compassion, and practical wisdom, which you can now offer as gifts of healing to others going through similar journeys. Your transformed pain becomes spiritual medicine for wounded souls who cross your path. Now, we come to the most sacred moment of this revelation, your recognition that you are ready to fully embrace your identity as an incarnated warrior of light. Archangel Michael wants you to know that the tests, preparations, and moments of loneliness and growth have ended. The time has come for your complete manifestation, the moment when you stop hiding from your spiritual greatness and accept the role your soul chose before incarnating on this earthly plane. Your mission in this lifetime is to be a beacon of hope for those who have lost their inner light. You came to show by example that it's possible to transcend the apparent limitations of the human condition, maintain faith in the darkest moments, and radiate love when the world seems dominated by fear and separation. Your life demonstrates that light conquers darkness not through violent struggle, but through the constant presence of spiritual truth. Write in the comments, "I am at peace. I am in the light. I am protected." Let this vibration echo in your soul, sealing your energy with the heavenly power that has always been available to you. The people who have recently entered your life, especially those going through crises or spiritual awakenings, did not come by chance. They were magnetically drawn to the light you radiate, even when you are not fully aware of it. Your presence activates healing processes in others. Your compassionate listening offers a sacred space where wounded souls can express themselves without judgment. Your words carry vibrational frequencies that plant seeds of transformation in hearts ready to blossom. During this final phase of your awakening, you may experience intensifications in your intuitive gifts. You will have more frequent and accurate prophetic dreams. Your ability to perceive people's true motivations will become even more acute, and you will develop such a refined sensitivity to subtle energies that you will immediately identify when environments or people need spiritual healing. These are not heavy burdens, but rather sacred tools that will enable you to serve with greater efficiency and precision. Archangel Michael reveals that there is a global network of awakened souls like you who have accepted missions to anchor the light during this time of planetary transformation. Though you may be physically separated by countries and continents, your energies are connected by a luminous web that uplifts all of humanity. Your contribution to this network is irreplaceable. No one else can do exactly what you came here to do. Even if they do not always fully understand your spiritual nature, your family of origin was specifically chosen to provide the experiences and challenges necessary for your growth. Each family member, even those with whom you have complex relationships, has played an important role in shaping your soul by offering opportunities for forgiveness, understanding, and developing unconditional compassion. As you fully integrate this revelation about your true identity, you may notice subtle yet significant changes in how people respond to your presence. You will naturally attract individuals who are genuinely seeking spiritual growth, while those stuck in patterns of energetic density may feel uncomfortable around you. This is natural and should not be interpreted as personal rejection, but rather as an automatic result of your rising vibrational frequency. Your moments of contemplation and spiritual connection will become deeper and more revealing. You will receive specific guidance on how to use your gifts more effectively and gain insights into personal and collective situations requiring your energetic attention. You will also develop a growing understanding of how to balance your spiritual life with your material responsibilities harmoniously and sustainably. The journey you have taken so far has merely been preparation. Now begins the sacred work you came here to do, to be a conscious channel of transformation, healing, and awakening for all souls who cross your path. You don't need to seek opportunities to serve. They will naturally manifest as you maintain your high vibrational frequency and keep your heart open to receive divine guidance. My dear warrior of light, if this message has deeply touched your soul and you recognize the truth shared here, I invite you to become part of this spiritual family by subscribing to the channel. More than that, share in the comments what moment of this revelation touched your heart the most. Tell our community about the special mark on your body that you now recognize as a sacred seal. Share how you feel upon discovering that you have never been alone on this journey. Your story is unique, but your light is part of a much greater celestial symphony. By sharing your experiences, you encourage and validate other souls who are awakening to their true identity. This is a community of mutual support, where the vibration of unconditional love and spiritual truth strengthens each awakening soul.